So today we're talking about the big stick, the driver, and we're going to show you how you can hit from the inside to help you hit those really high draws from the tee. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden on another cold, windy, wintry day. We're out here on the 12th hole and talking about how you can hit your driver from the inside. Now, if you are new to my channel, I would love you to be a subscriber. It is absolutely free and there's videos being launched each and every week. There is a link in the description box down below, or if you'd prefer, you can wait to the end of the video where there will be a clickable link over here on the right hand side of your screen. So let's talk first of all about what do we mean by hitting from the inside and why would this benefit some of you out there watching. Well, if we initially give ourselves a ball to target line, so that's a line directly towards my target, which in this case is the middle of the fairway. I am stood on the inside of that line, and so over there is the outside of that line. Now, when we talk about hitting from the inside or the outside, we're really talking about the club head and where that's being delivered from. So many of you out there who struggle with fades and slices and weak shots will actually have the club head on the outside of that target line before it hits the golf ball. This golf club will then work across the golf ball, and that's what tends to give us those curves on the golf ball. So when we're talking about hitting from the inside, we're talking about really keeping the club head, exactly as the name suggests, on the inside of that target line right the way through to impact. This hitting from the inside would generally help you get a more neutral club path or a club path which is a little bit more up to the right hand side. If we can get that, provided we can locate the face correctly relative to that path, we should be able to hit straighter shots, if not move you towards more of a draw pattern. So if you're desperate to hit that draw, and so many golfers are, this video is hopefully going to help you. So we're going to do a few things this video. We're going to give you a few ideas. We're going to cover 3 things which could help. Number 1, which is really simple, and this would almost be the first thing we would do with any lesson, is actually, if you're hitting from the outside and you want to hit from the inside, is actually just try to hit from the inside. Sounds simple, but that's going to be the first thing you can do. What we would like to also have is some visual cues which are going to help. So take your head cover. You're going to place it on the outside of the golf ball. You're going to take a tee peg and you're going to place it behind the golf ball, maybe about 2 feet, and around about a foot inside that target line. So around about here, and place that tee peg relatively low into the ground. Now, if we were to hit from the inside, the feel that you might have would be that the club head is tracing in over this tee peg. The reality is that it wouldn't. It's the feel we're looking for. If we can do that, we should be able to hit from the inside. The head cover is there to give us some feedback. If you make contact with that head cover at all in your golf swing, that's going to suggest that your club was too soon on the outside of that line. The reality is, in a good golf swing, the club head should never be on the outside. It should be on the inside, on the inside, on the inside, on the target line, and then back to the inside. If your path moves to the right, then yes, the golf club would work to the outside, but that would be post-impact, nowhere near the head cover. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your starting position, and you're going to, in practice, hit some shots where you're visually trying to get the club head to trace in over the tee peg, and the head cover is there to give you some feedback as to if you did hit from the inside. High draw, right down the middle, head cover didn't move, I definitely hit that one from the inside. So you've tried the first drill, you put the head cover down there and you're still not quite getting it right. You might be hitting the head cover and you're still hitting those fades. So now we're going to move on to a little bit more of a swing change, or something you can think about within your golf swing which is going to help you hit from the inside. You'll notice I've got an alignment stick here on the ground, and that alignment stick is angled way out to the right of my target, pretty much into those trees on the right hand side. So when we get the golf club to last parallel in the downswings, that would be kind of in here. We would really like the golf club to be, as you're looking at it from the camera, behind the hands. And you can see how in this case that would match my golf club to the alignment stick on the ground. If you're struggling to hit from the inside, it was probably going to mean that the club head is a little bit more this side of your hands. And again, you can see that doesn't match the alignment stick. Now, what's creating that different movement of the club head? Well, it's really your forearm rotation. So if I was to take my starting position, I'm just going to use my left arm here to demonstrate this, and I'm going to add in some wrist set, which will be pretty common, pretty present in most of your golf swings. That would be this movement here. Now, to get the golf club towards more of a delivery position, I have to rotate my forearm. If I don't rotate it enough, the club stays on the outside of my hands. If I keep rotating it, it becomes in line. If I keep rotating it, you can see here how the club head starts to be more behind my hands. So the way that we keep the club behind the hands is to have more forearm rotation in the downswing. Now the good news for you is that when you get up to the top, you've probably already got that forearm rotation. The problem is many of you will actually start to tip the club out too soon, which creates this look and this hit from the outside. So what we're going to get you to actually do here is go up to the top and just feel like as you start down, you keep your thumbs pointing very much behind you. I feel my thumbs are pointing way over here towards that tree that you obviously can't see. If I can keep my thumbs pointing behind me, that keeps some rotation in my forearms, that keeps the club head more behind my hands, and when I start to deliver that club head at impact, I'm able to hit more from the inside. So we're going to use this as a little pump drill. Take your starting position, up to the top, work it down a couple of times, 1, 2, 3, and then go ahead and hit. And again, big high right to left draw, let's finish a little bit left to target, but the shape on the shot would indicate that I hit from the inside. That for me was a feeling of forearm rotation, thumbs, and a little bit of a visual cue, I should say, from that alignment stick down on the ground. So try that second drill if the first one didn't work for you. So the final little exercise that you can try and practice, which is going to help you hit from the inside, is all to do with something we call side bend. Side bend is your ability or your movement to one side or the other, as the name suggests. So let's take an example here of a golfer who would deliver the golf club from here. Now you can see from this down the line camera what we said was that club is outside the hands. This is what we want to try and avoid. This golf club is probably going to deliver from the outside. If we look from the face on camera, you'll notice that the zip or the buttons on my top are probably forward of my belt buckle. So what we're going to try and do here is I'm going to add in some side bend. And what I want you to do is actually notice what happens to the golf club from the down the line view as I add this side bend. So I'm going to push my hips forwards, my head back, and I'm going to change the relationship between those 2 points. So now you can see the belt buckle is more ahead of my zip, and from the down the line, I've suddenly got the golf club into a much more desirable delivery position. I see so many golfers where the golf club isn't quite in the right position, and we can change that by changing what the body does. Because the club is in the wrong position, a lot of golfers automatically assume that it's always going to be hands and arms that does that. But as I change from left side bend to right side bend and back again, it has a huge effect on where that golf club is coming from. So by changing how your body works and by getting an improved body pivot or movement or whatever you want to call it, we can start to improve the delivery of the golf club. So what would you expect to see with a driver? Well, we would expect to see some of this right side bend where as we come towards the delivery, my belt buckle is starting to go out in front of my zip. You can start to see how my right shoulder is lower than my lead shoulder quite considerably. And I'm starting to create this side bend. And having this as a concept and idea can really help you. And I would very simply get you to just do that. Think about the belt buckle, think about the zip, and start to change that relationship. So as I get to the top, I really feel like I'm pushing my belt buckle out in front, creating that side bend. That's going to help me hit from the inside. Once I'm here, I can start to release it through. And that movement is definitely going to help me hit those high draws that we should get if we can hit from the inside. Right, let's finish up with this one, down this 12. This is a par 5, it does move a little bit right to left, so a high draw is exactly what I would actually need on this hole. Let's see if we can actually hit that shot. And I hit that one a little bit off the toe, but it's just going to be left-hand side of the fairway, and that would still leave me hopefully a long iron into this par 5 green. So hitting from the inside for many of you is something you would love to do because it's going to get rid of those slices, those fades, and help you move towards that more draw pattern. So hopefully those 3 things are going to help. 3 drills means that one of them hopefully will work for you. Good luck in practice. Let me know in the comments box how you get on. Would love to hear your progress and keep me updated. And also, like I said at the start, would love you to be a subscriber. Link over here, click that. It's free to do so. It just means you get updated each time I release a video. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back here again soon.